Alex Jones got sued because for a long time he was pushing insane theories about Sandy Hook, and it's too much, even for me. But he apologized. I don't think.
I love that. So there is a bar. There's a bar. We got a bar. There is a bar. We know what the bar is now. Tim Pool said it out loud. Yeah, it was too much, even for me.
From the New York Times, Alex Jones's Infowars will be auctioned off to pay Sandy Hook families. A sale of the Infowars website and other property is set for November and could determine the conspiracy theorist's fate as a broadcaster. Let me just stress this to the machine. You can't stop Alex Jones. You will never stop Alex Jones. Nothing you do will ever shut down Alex Jones. Nothing. Now, I do find this interesting because I have to wonder who is going to dare help Alex Jones pay his debts. It's a bold undertaking. I'm like, imagine you're a media company and someone says, hey, Alex Jones, his company, they're going to sell off all this property to try and pay off his Sandy Hook debt. How would you like to give him a hand? wait, hold on a minute.
So what you're proposing is called a bailout? That's what you're thinking of, Tim. This is not that. This is someone who has assets. Say, like, if Alex Jones owned a house, and if he had that house, and you were like, you know what, I want to buy Alex Jones's house. I want to turn it into this massive kind of like, amusement park, where gay furries can have orgies 24/7 consensually, and that's going to be what this house will be turned into. So you could do that. You can do that. You could acquire his house. And in turn, the money ideally would be going to the Sandy Hook parents because he owes them a lot of money. So by selling off his assets, you are buying the asset. You now own the asset. So you're not helping him out. You're actually buying his possessions from him. I'm guessing at rock bottom discount prices. And then at that point, some of that money ideally will be going. So it's kind of a win-win from, like, if you're a leftist and you have the money to do this, it would be a win-win, Again, paging Hasanabi. I'm hoping Hasanabi is really crunching the numbers on this one because I am not in the success range of, I literally have just millions of dollars in a bank account waiting for something funny like this. And I wish I did because it does seem supremely funny. If I did, I probably would. I would make an offer, I'm going to guess there's probably a handful of people in that upper echelon. There's not a lot, You basically have your Chapo trap houses, your maybe ContraPoints, Hassan Pikers, is the limit of people I can think of who are making that kind of cash. But yeah, if you're making that kind of money and you can buy Infowars, turn Infowars into whatever you want, making it funny, and at the same time, that money will be going towards Sandy Hook parents, I would say that's just win-win-win. Yeah, all around.
Do you want to be a media company in any respect that is the one who provided the cash to Alex Jones to help pay down his debt? You bought...
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's not to help him pay his debt. It's not like I want to do this to help Alex Jones. It's more I want to, get all of his assets at rock bottom prices. Yeah, just carve out his entire industry of hate. And then again, turn it into gay furry stuff. That sounds awesome. Sounds really fun.
You bought his gear from him. You are using the Infowars equipment. I don't know, man. Perhaps there are liberals who are like, ha, 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 I got Alex Jones' camera. I can't imagine them wanting to use it. Going to people and be like, yeah, thanks to the hard work of...
Wait, what does he know? What did Alex Jones do to his cameras? Did he fuck his cameras? Is this a thing? Are we getting new rumors? I mean, if that's the case, then, obviously, probably don't want to touch them. But you could definitely bleach them and then donate them to someone who needed them, for sure, after they've been disinfected and all that kind of stuff.
Of Infowars and everything they built, we were able to get these discount cameras, and I was happy to provide cash to Alex Jones so that he could pay down his court debts.
That second part, see, you're saying this like it's a bad thing in that first part, as in they're just handing money over to Alex Jones. Like Alex Jones is like, hey, garage sale, do you want my shit? And then you're like, okay, here's money, Alex Jones. Whoa, you're not going to use that for anything bad like everything else you do. We'll see, kind of thing. Well, yeah, that would be bad. But in this case, it's not that, right? You're adding to the story, Alex. If I gave you money for your assets, rock bottom prices, I buy them all, and then that money goes to the Sandy Hook parents, really it's win-win for me, right? because I get to get money to the Sandy Hook parents, who I think deserve it in this case. I get your assets dirt cheap, so way cheaper than I could buy on the regular market. It's good. Win-win-win. Yeah, he agrees. Look, it's happening right now. You can't say this is fake news. He's not. Look at him nodding in his head up and down right there. It's a real thing.
I don't know who's going to want to take
Yeah, I mean, jokes aside, it's not Alex Jones's property anymore. It's the property now of the parents. So they have a right to get the money that they deserve because he's refusing to pay them, and he's also trying to siphon all of his money into like additional new companies. That's why he's got Dr. Jones. It's no longer like, go to the Infowars store and you can buy all my worthless supplements that are filled with paint and other shit like that and soy. Now it's like, hey, you can now buy products from Dr. Jones, which is owned by my father. He didn't want to have to do this. I know it's terrible. My dad came out of retirement. He didn't want to have to do this, but now we have all these products, amazing products, Paleo Skin and Brain Force 27 and all that kind of stuff, 1848, and then you can buy it all. Well, yeah, okay, but there's a reason why it's now owned by a company owned by your father, which again, you're hoping the money just funnels its way back into your pockets, but that way they can't say seize the assets because they're not your assets, they're your dad's assets, which is why he keeps trying to do this.
that on. The left is so censorious and so cancellous. I don't know what the right word is for it, but they're very much into canceling people. Do you really want to be the person that's using Infowars equipment because you gave him the money for his debts?
Yes.
I'm just saying. But let's read this.
I mean, if you think it's a bad thing, you can pay for it, and I'll take it. So if you want to do it, and then you can own and get those sweet, leftist tiers. I'm willing to be owned on this one. I'll take a fat L. If you want to buy all of Alex Jones' stuff and then donate it to me, I'll use it, I'll accept it, and then the Sandy Hook parents get the money, and I'm pwned and wrecked in the process. It'll be a masterful gambit.
A bankruptcy judge ruled on Tuesday that assets from the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones' Infowars empire can be auctioned off to help pay families of the Sandy Hook mass shooting victims the defamation award he owes. The auction, set for mid-November, will include Infowars website, social media accounts, broadcasting equipment. You can't auction off social media accounts. That's not allowed. Elon Musk can just go, no. Elon owns the X account. Sorry, nothing you can do about it. Broadcasting equipment, product trademarks.
But sorry, wait, what if he doesn't do that, though? Because technically, you're right. He's a dictator, has a dictatorship, and all that. But if he doesn't want to involve himself whatsoever, if I say put an offer out there, as I have before to right-wingers who respond to me on Twitter, I've said, if you want to buy my Twitter account, it's $1 for every follower. So I'm currently, I think, at $171,000. You can have the account. It is for sale. I despise what Twitter has become, and I'd be happy to leave it. And there you go. That's my price, $1 for every follower. So you could silence me. You can buy my silence. You can cancel me. You can destroy my account. You can turn it into whatever you want. There you go. That's the price. It's out there. It's available. In the event that someone does want to purchase that, all I have to do then after selling it to them is hand over the old login, password, yours now. Boom. I got some cash. I'm laughing. They're posting stuff to people who no longer really want to follow the account. Pretty easy.
An inventory owned by Free Speech Systems, Infowars' parent company. Mr. Jones's fate as a broadcaster most likely depends on who buys his business. Though the Infowars name and assets are potentially of interest to a range of entities on the far right under the terms of the sales, anyone can bid. And therein lies the big point. Do you think a liberal is going to go buy Infowars? Maybe. And then they'll redirect it to KamalaHarris.com or something. That they'd probably enjoy. But I can't imagine that they'd want to buy the equipment and trademarks and utilize them in any legitimate way.
Why? I think a lot of people will just look at them as trophies. Look at them as a trophy case, I mean, maybe you could turn it into some of that modern art where you just stack it and turn it into like a goatsy or something out of all those old cameras. I don't know. You can do whatever you want at that point. It's yours.
You're more likely to see someone on the right take this up because the money helps Alex pay down his debt, which he probably never could. And it keeps so it's going to be some right.
I want him to pay down his debt. Not because I'm like, I really want Alex Jones to be debt free, because I think the Sandy Hook parents deserve the money. So yeah, again, win-win. You're not helping this. You're making it better. This is a good sales pitch. I wish I could afford it.
I'm seeing people say Elon Musk should buy Infowars. He probably could. They're going to say that Mr. Jones spent years spreading lies that the 2012 shooting at Sandy Hook, we get it, was a hoax, and the families were actors. The family suffered online abuse, personal confrontations, and death threats from people who believed the conspiracy theory. Relatives of 10 victims, and you know, like we all know, Alex was wrong to do this. I can't. I remember where I was when that story broke. I was in a burger joint in Brooklyn watching the news.
I don't care.
You've done it. I hope within 6 months, Alex Jones' company is operating once again. It's a new company. There's nothing you can do. You can't subject someone to indentured servitude like this. It just doesn't work. You can't do it.
So then why is he doing everything in his power to try and avoid it? That would kind of throw a wrench in that idea then, right? Like he is trying to get his dad to sell his pills for him. He's tried to move his assets. He's tried to declare personal bankruptcy. He's tried to declare Infowars bankruptcy. He's tried to avoid anything other than paying down these debts owed to the families. So yeah, I mean, like, the only thing I can agree with is that, is this ever going to destroy Alex Jones? I don't think Alex Jones will ever stop. I think as long as there is, a burner phone available at a 7-Eleven for him to go and pick up and record himself and his voice and link it to somewhere that links to a cryptocurrency, he will keep on filming videos. And as long as there's at least 100 people willing to tune in, and, you know, it's probably thousands who will tune into his weird, burner phone 7-Eleven sessions, but whoever it is, yeah, he's going to keep on doing that. But that doesn't mean that he shouldn't, in perpetuity, no matter as long as he is living and generating income, still have to pay that income down until his debts are paid. That part is what he's trying to do everything to avoid, right?
Anyway, lawyers for the families who sued Mr. Jones in Texas favored a settlement in which he would pay them a percentage of his income over the next decade, most likely netting more money for each relative, which is the legitimate way to go about doing it. As a condition of the latter deal, Mr. Jones would have had to agree never to mention the shooting again. The asset sale is probably the least lucrative option.
Spoiler alert, he has mentioned it many times.
For the family members. Though its potential for shutting down Infowars appealed to some, juries in the two lawsuits awarded individual relatives widely varying amounts. And lawyers from Connecticut and Texas sides have been dueling over how to fairly allocate the money. I think it's hilarious.
Fun fact, by the way, the same lawyer who is responsible for these massive victories is the same lawyer representing the people suing Tim Pool. Of all the people in that lawsuit for that Tim Pool fiasco, he's the only one who actually represented himself, apparently, in the phone calls. Like Stephen Crowder's also mentioned in that lawsuit. Crowder had their legal team, discuss it with their legal team, but Pool, he decided he can handle himself, and you do have that right. Everyone does. You can represent yourself. You don't need a lawyer. You can always speak to another lawyer, just one-on-one, mano a mano, on the phone.
The families are fighting over money. That's insane. The situation is further complicated by the fact that a jury is yet to decide how much in damages Mr. Jones must pay to Lenny Posner and Veronica De La Rosa, whose son Noah Posner died in the shooting. Should be interesting. I think there are a lot of issues with the case. But I think we're well past going over the merits of the case at this point. Alex Jones certainly has his free speech, but all that really matters is you can't shut him down. Now, Owen Schroyer issued a public statement on the shutting down of Infowars, and I'll play that some of that for you now.
All right, guys.
Wow, he is looking stressed. Guess prison changes a man,
I've been getting a lot of messages about the breaking news.
So this is, if people are asking, this is the, Infowars co-host now. He's the one who usually handles the mantle when Alex Jones, for whatever reason, isn't able to appear because he's either got a court case or a trial, or he's got to go try and incite some kind of an insurrection or something like that. Whatever is occupied Alex Jones, usually this will be the dude who takes the helm in his absence. So you could say if there was going to be, someone to take over Alex Jones's position full time, if Alex Jones ever decided to retire, then this would be the person who's the new face of Infowars.
About Infowars, so I figured I would come on here and just make a...
Yeah, he did a little stint, I think, for his participation in January 6th, which is also absolutely hilarious when you think about the fact that Alex Jones was one of the big insiders towards the whole January 6th coup attempt, and one of the people who was just consistently, giving speeches, doing rallies, even the day of marching with people with a megaphone being like, "We're coming for you, communists. We're going to get every single one of you. We're going to, destroy the cabal." But Alex Jones also being, clever enough to recognize the writing on the wall once everything started to happen, once it was real, once it wasn't memes, once it wasn't like lulls, once it wasn't like, you know, we all show up, we go, the deep state will destroy you one day, but then we all turn around and go home. Once you realize people, like, there were true believers there. They bought into a lot of this stuff. There were QAnoners. There were a lot of people that were just like, yes, no, we must take back our democracy and freedom. 1776, activate. And then once they started charging, and all those people, you know, all those right-wing white supremacists, all just turned into Spider-Man simultaneously. They all felt that they were Spider-Man at that moment in time. Like, oh yeah, I could scale that. You know, when the whole thing started happening, well, Alex Jones does a whole 180. And that's when he's like, this whole thing is a false flag. Antifa, it's Antifa. Turn around, comrades. Don't get caught. Everyone turn around. So Alex Jones doesn't actually get in trouble that day, unlike some of his contemporaries.
A public statement. Let me start with this. I've never been more proud of the work that I've done at Infowars. You see, when I left sports media
By the way, he didn't speak like this at all during the depositions. We watched all the depositions. He, like everyone else, was just as like broken and cowardly and scared and trying his best to not incriminate himself while at the same time not give anything away, just over and over. Did you make this statement that you see before you that has your name, your signature, and your email? It's now on the screen. Did you make the statement? I'm not sure. You're not sure if you made this statement. Once again, a statement made by you. This is your email signature, your name. It's on the screen right now. Did you write this? I don't know. And then it's like, oh, okay. Well, it's a little different when the cameras aren't on and you're not selling the pills and you're not trying to do the broadcasting and that you could be incriminating yourself, all that kind of stuff. It gets a little scarier when life comes at you.
2016 to get into political commentary. It was Infowars that invited me in. It was Infowars that offered me a job. I was an anti-government guy. I was an anti-lying media guy. I was an anti-lying politician guy. And quite frankly, for somebody like me to break into the political media like that was not an easy thing to do. And there weren't really platforms out there that would host a guy like me or eventually give me a show and allow me to create my own content in the way that I see fit. But Infowars did. And it's now total confirmation that I made the right decision. And let me tell you, it was a decision that came with a lot of consequences. Some obvious. I was put in prison. I've been sued multiple times. I've been attacked. I've been assaulted. I've been censored across the internet. I get blackballed from
Wait, you went to prison because you told the truth and the deep state wasn't ready for it? That's not what I remember. Infowars host Oren Schroyer has been placed in solitary confinement as he begins his 60-day prison sentence for his role in the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot. Schroyer, who did not enter the Capitol building during the attack, had the sentence handed down to him in September for amping up the mob and chants that furthered the riot as a sensitive moment. At the time, the crowd had gathered at the Capitol to protest Donald Trump's 2020 election loss. Prosecutors argued that while Schroyer did not enter the Capitol, many who listened to him did. They also pointed to an agreement Schroyer signed in 2019 after he interrupted a congressional hearing. He agreed not to use loud, threatening, or abusive language or to engage in any disorderly or disruptive conduct at any place upon the United States Capitol grounds. Conservative host Schroyer, who has shadowed his boss Alex Jones on January 6, faced misdemeanor charges related to the riot, and this year pleaded guilty to breaching restricted grounds. However, he announced plans to appeal his sentence. On October 25th, it was announced on Oren Schroyer's 1776 account cringe, attributed to him that the presenter had been temporarily placed in solitary confinement at the Federal Correctional Institute in Oakdale in Louisiana per the ongoing COVID-19 safety protocols. Back in 2020, FCI Oakdale became the site of the first fatal coronavirus outbreak. Breaking, we have confirmed through a source within the FCI Oakdale prison that Owen is doing well and remains in good spirits. With that said, unfortunately, he's been held in solitary confinement until Monday. The post got the attention of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who wrote in response, "COVID is over. This is absurd." In another post shared on Owen Schroyer's 1776 account, Schroyer was standing outside of the federal prison ahead of the signing of the sentence. "Ladies and gentlemen, if you are seeing this video, I am officially incarcerated," he said, before gesturing towards the prison. "I'm actually behind there, right there, in the federal prison. So if you're watching this, I'm in jail. But I want to give you one last final message. Now, first of all, I can't express the gratitude and the appreciation and the thanks from my heart for all the support in the 5 years of political persecution that I've gone through. So from all my heart, thank you for your continued support, and I promise to never give up in telling the truth, and I'm never going to give up fighting for you." Sporting a black t-shirt and blazing with the words "speech prisoner." Schroyer said that he was planning to use his time behind bars to focus on self-improvement, while also challenging his supporters to do the same. And, you know, I will remain consistent. I don't think anyone should be experiencing solitary confinement. Even this racist asshole. I don't think you should be doing it. It's been well established as a form of torture. And yeah, fuck people being thrown into solitary confinement. Even creep-ass creeps like this. That notwithstanding, though, you know what's kind of funny about the situation is that it really feels in the same way that you see in, say, like The Sopranos or other movies where, like, you know, you got to go to prison for a little while, and that you can't rat out any of your contemporaries. You just got to do your time. So it'll be short. You know, you only go in for a couple months, and you turn the whole thing into a cause. You know, you talk about how you're a political prisoner, you're being arrested for telling the truth. Make sure you promote Infowars a lot. Make sure you talk about the Infowars.com/store and all the pills they can buy. We'll even brand a pill after you. Don't worry. You know, the Schroyer supplements. Schroyer supplements, they're coming out real quick. We'll get to those Schroyer supplements. Lots and lots of money will be made. Don't worry about when you will or will not see some of that back end. It'll be arriving at the same time the revolution does. I wanted to say this. I'm going to be there for 60 days, and in those 60 days, I'm going to find a way to better myself. I'm going to find a way to come out stronger, come out wiser, come out bolder, and come out more focused. And so I offer you a challenge. Do the same thing. Obviously, don't go to jail. You can better yourself from home. You don't need a stint in prison.
Pretty much, or have been in the past, from pretty much all conservative outlets. But you notice that the narrative is changing. You notice that everybody sounds like Infowars now. You notice that everybody wants to have Alex Jones on now.
Yep.
Because they're realizing Alex Jones and Infowars were not censored, were not attacked, and now as of today, being shut down and liquidated, not for lying, but for telling the truth. Because you see, if it was for lying...
Kim, why are you agreeing with all this? You read the article not 2 seconds ago. You even went as far as not trying to contest the results of the trial. Again, a trial that was done on the civil level. This is a lawsuit. He lost. He lost fucking horribly. Like, this has nothing to do with Alex Jones telling the truth. Now they're trying to shut down Infowars. The deep state is trying to do it. This might be the Democrats, we're not totally sure, or maybe it was the globalists, the cabal, all that kind of stuff, but that's why they're shutting them down. Tim's just sitting there like, yeah, pretty fucked up. No, motherfucker lied through his teeth. Alex Jones, he lied so much about something that was so demonstrably false at the time when a whole bunch of parents who had their kids killed, murdered, the worst fucking tragedy that could possibly befall a parent. All of these parents who should have been given the opportunity to grieve instead were harassed by Alex Jones fans because he consistently told a lie that the kids were crisis actors. The whole thing was a hoax, that none of it happened, that is all being done to take your guns away. And all of these frothing Alex Jones fans who are all just like, 1776, they're taking the guns away, your kids aren't dead, are harassing the parents to the point that one of the parents ended up committing suicide from the level of harassment they were receiving. Horrifying stuff. He's a monster. He's an absolute monster. He should have never been like re-entered into the conservative mainstream ethos, all because of that. Should have been disqualified if any of you had any morals. You don't. That's very, very clear at this point. But then to say all that, have the article up on screen, have this video, and then sit there like, he's right. He's right. I mean, if they can come after Alex Jones, they can come after any of us.
Then wouldn't it be the mainstream media on trial? Trump-Russia collusion, Hunter Biden laptop is fake, vaccines are safe and effective, weapons of mass destruction. Should I go on? So, no, I've never been more proud of my work at Infowars than I am today. I've never had total confirmation that I joined the right team of telling the truth and anti-corruption media than today when I joined Infowars. And now, yet again, at this level of the Infowars saga, people will see how the First Amendment and free speech is under attack, and all the weapons they will use against Americans to try to take your rights from you and shut you down if you won't be silenced.
So, here's some pretty good examples that actually relate to Tim Pool. Tim Pool was approached by a content producer called Lauren Southern to join her in a new media empire she was building called Tenant Media, where they were going to tell the truth, uncensored, all that kind of stuff. Turns out Tenant Media was getting millions and millions of dollars from a Russia-affiliated, state-backed sponsored funder. And so, yeah, once that all got uncovered, the hundreds of thousands of dollars that were given to people like Tim Pool to produce these videos, etc., all of that kind of got revealed, and they're not going to give the money back, but Tim's a victim. He was powerless. He had no idea. There was no way to really look into this and find out whether or not the Gregorian funder was in fact working for Russia. So that was the whole thing. One of the people who was working for Tenant, who was lesser known, decided, I'm going to turn this into a cause because Tenant Media gets their YouTube shut down. Lauren Chen gets her YouTube shut down. So it really seems like, oh, wow, the banhammer's coming right now to anyone who's involved in this. And so one of the members fakes shutting down his own YouTube channel. He shuts it down himself, which you can do. I could do it right now to the Serf Times. He lies and says that he got his channel censored and that he's being taken down 1984. It was very easy for YouTube and anyone else who's observing this to say, hey, when you click on the link to your channel, it doesn't say that your channel was terminated or this has been deleted. It says that the user has closed all the videos on it. That was you. You did it. This is not a cause. Similar thing, Jordan Peterson. He has a license, to practice psychology, and he's not a practicing psychologist. He doesn't have any patience. He doesn't do this anymore. He also does a lot of shit that people within his profession should not do. Tell people to kill themselves. Shouldn't do that as a licensed psychologist. Really vilify and go after LGBTQ plus people, especially people who might be considering or questioning their gender identity. So, yeah, really, really bad. Shouldn't be publicly doing that with all of your social media power and the influence that you have. I mean, you also shouldn't be sharing, cock-milking fetish porn, but that's not part of this entire story. And so the licensing board that grants people licenses looks at a person like Jordan Peterson and they say, well, he's doing a lot of behavior. He's received a ton of complaints. He's not practicing. He doesn't have patience. So we shouldn't be certifying him and licensing him. So we're going to restrict his license unless he takes an online course about social media and its influence and stops being such a really big meanie on the internet. He turns that whole thing around and says, this is a cause. This is Trudeau and the communists are trying to shut me down. This is because I'm telling the truth. This is because I had the freedom and the courage to explain to you how the world really works and all this kind of stuff. They're doing the exact same thing right now. This is what they're doing with Infowars, where it's like, this was Alex Jones. Alex Jones spreading lies. Alex Jones continuously spreading lies, even after it was pointed out that these are, in fact, demonstrably false lies, bringing on conspiracy theorists, anti-Semitic racist assholes, white supremacists, all continued to spread all these conspiracies, and eventually it led to mass harassment campaigns of the Sandy Hook parents. So the Sandy Hook parents took it upon themselves to sue Alex Jones, of all people. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. They were the victims in this case. They were seeking out restitution, and they were successful in suing him in court. That should be the end of it. This has nothing to do with the Democrats, nothing to do with the deep state, nothing to do with the globalists, nothing to do with the cabal of Hollywood elites and their adrenochrome and then their Wayfair cabinets, and none of that. Again, in all of these cases, individuals are getting called out for their shit, and they're trying to turn them into causes. And people are buying it. People both in their audience and also people amplifying them, like Tim Pool and his fucking network here.
Now, that's all I'm going to say on this. I'm not going to comment on the court developments or the legalese. I would advise you to tune into the Alex Jones show tomorrow. This is his company. This is his story.
Again, they're babies. They don't want to take responsibility for their own actions. That's it. Alex Jones never wants to take responsibility for his own actions. That's why every time he gets interviewed about this, he lies, he deflects, he starts to be like, oh, I'm the worst person in the world. I did everything bad. I am basically Adolf Hitler. I invented AIDS. I did 9/11. Yeah, I'm the worst person in the world. I killed all those kids. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Apparently I killed all the kids. I killed all... Nope. You're not accused of any of that, and you're deflecting now, and you're making it seem outrageous, and you're exaggerating, but you're not taking responsibility for the really fucked up shit that you did do, and the results that it did have.
I'll give a little pushback. With all due respect to one who had him on the show. I like him. He's a good dude. Alex Jones got sued because for a long time he was pushing insane theories about Sandy Hook. And it's too much, even for me. But he apologized. I don't think...
I love that. So there is a bar. There's a bar. We got a bar. There is a bar. We know what the bar is now. Tim Pool said it out loud. Yeah, it was too much, even for me. Okay, so I guess that's the beanie bar, in case anyone is wondering. Just repeatedly and consistently vilifying parents whose children were murdered and trying to say that the children aren't real and that they either didn't exist or they're crisis actors and the mass shooting didn't happen, even after it was proved multiple times that it did in fact happen, and the parents in fact were victims dealing with the worst tragedy that any parent could possibly face, but continuing to double and triple down on that over and over and over until there was targeted harassment of those parents and they weren't even allowed to grieve because they were getting so many Alex Jones and Infowars fans saying that they were again lying to the general public. So that's the bar, all right? But he apologized. And so does he really have to keep, facing consequences? No. Every time I hear people say that, by the way, Alex Jones apologized. He has done the most ridiculous, low-hanging, I sincerely apologize for anyone who may have been offended by the things I said. I at the time believed them to be true, and we were doing the reporting based on the facts that we knew. That's it. Not like I am profoundly and deeply and sincerely sorry in ways that I can never truly ever forgive myself for, in that my continued lying, harassment, and knowing lying, by the way. I knew it was demonstrable through the leaked emails and phone messages and text messages that I at a certain point was well aware that I was just pushing a false story. I was well aware of that. I did know that I was continuing to do that. I was doing it for money. That was the purpose of me doing it. I was lying potentially for profit, and in order to profit, I was obviously doing so on the backs of dead children, and furthering the horror and the pain that the families were feeling at that time, making their lives infinitely worse, which is, again, probably profoundly one of the cruelest things a human being could have done in that situation. Again, just the evil of which certain people would only aspire to be able to rise to. I was accomplishing on a very regular basis. And now that I've done it, I'm doubling, tripling, and quadrupling down because I just don't know how, in any way, shape, or form, to take responsibility for this. Yeah. Not to mention, he's still doing it. He's still kind of, trying to, within his own way, spread that, and by the way, now there's people saying that there was a second shooter. I don't know anything about that, but.
Exist to call them out. Shows like Alex's, when he gets it right, and he's gotten terrifyingly, Epstein. Let's just talk about that. When he gets it right.
Let's just, stop doing this too. The whole Alex Jones was right phenomenon, hashtag Alex Jones was right. A lot of people were doing that. Joe Rogan, Tim Pool, Vivek Ramaswamy, all the people who continue to push that. You have but to watch Knowledge Fight. Every episode, Knowledge Fight, comes out once a week. Every single week, there's a new episode of Knowledge Fight. They break down every single statement that Alex Jones makes in every single show that he has, and corrects all of the lies, points out lie after lie. He lies close to 1,000 times a day on his show. And then in that, there will be one slither of truth, or maybe a half truth, or maybe something that, if you make 1,000 predictions, hopefully one of those is going to turn out to be right. Hopefully. I mean, yeah, I would hope. I mean, it's not a very good percentage. It certainly doesn't show that you have any demonstrable powers. It would be less than 50% by any measurable amount. But sure, if you spread 1,000 lies and one of those lies turns out to be a half-truth that actually comes true later on, that doesn't make it Alex Jones was always right. Again, listen on. You don't have to go through their catalog. One episode. Just listen to one episode of Knowledge Fight and you will see statement by statement by statement by statement that Alex Jones makes. They are all either lies, exaggerations, demonstrably false, unsourced, based on him not actually using the proper quote from a news article, him taking a single line from a news article, blowing that up as if it was a truthful statement when it's actually not related to what he's talking about at all. It's all he does. It's all he knows. And then it requires people like Tim Pool to make other people outside of Infowars believe it. Because again, for people who are like, well, what's the damage? He basically, it's only his own audience that just keeps on buying the paleo monkey skin and the other shit that he sells and all that other weird stuff. And is it really going to damage the general public? It does when Joe Rogan brings him on. It does when Tim Pool downplays it. It does when any of the right-wing pundits suddenly treat him like a normal figure that is apparently a peer for them to bring onto their show. He's funny, the gay frogs, the memes, the deep voice. He's the silly guy. He's not a white supremacist who talks about white supremacy. Brings on notable white supremacists onto his show all the time to talk about provoking a race war in America. That's not who he is. He's the gay frogs guy, and he's kind of silly. And sure, he's done some bad stuff in the past, but he apologized, and he's doing good now. No. No, like you're doing PR for Alex Jones if you don't point out who Alex Jones is and what he does and the damage he has inflicted upon Americans, unfortunately.
And the funniest thing,
He's hilarious.
why did they do that to me? And then when they were talking about it in the video, it's like ivermectin does not do this, does not do that. And there was a picture of a little horse. Like, why did you do that? It's ivermectin is a known treatment for eye parasites. It's a deworming agent. And it is given to horses. They get these tubes and they jam in the horse's mouth and squeeze the tube and the horses love it. Gooey apple flavored ivermectin. The horses go nuts for it. But that doesn't mean it's not a just general drug. I mean, you can prescribe general antibiotics to dogs and cats like vets do, smaller quantities. You know, when Mr. Bokus, our cat, was sick, some of the drugs he were...
This is what you get when you randomly click into any part of a Tim Pool video. Like, you randomly clicked here, you randomly clicked here. If I did the over-under, what's he going to be talking about when we jump to this part? Is he going to be talking about his cat getting deworming goo? Or is he going to be talking about the deep state revolution coming because apparently there's a collaboration going on with Hollywood? And, like, you never know. You never know.
And this is the game they play.
And now we're talking about Ukraine, Hillary Clinton, her emails.
Says they investigated and had evidence, and then later said, there is no evidence. These people are incorrigible. Incorrigible! And they have the nerve to insult Alex Jones. Okay. Well, as I long said, my friends, the corporate press is full of lies, and you've got to weed through them. And this is why I bring up stories like this. We do our best. I can't tell you which one of these stories is true, because...
Well, guess what? You're funded by Russia? I have no way of being able to talk about this in any kind of imperial sense. I can't really be objective. I have to tell you what, again, I think will mostly benefit those who pay the show. That was in the past, though. He's no longer funded by Russia. No longer a victim. We've moved past that. Tenant's innocent, y'all. Don't think about it too much. That's so wild.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/The Serfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Voltimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincel, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.